Nelson Mandela, a name that stands as a symbol of freedom, equality, and justice worldwide. His autobiography, The Long Walk to Freedom, is not just the story of his life but a journey that encompasses the fight against apartheid, the hardships of imprisonment, and the building of a new South Africa. This story not only highlights his struggles but also serves as an inspiration for every individual fighting for their dreams and rights. In this article, we will deeply explore Mandela's life, his struggles, his victories, and the motivation and inspiration derived from his journey. Nelson Mandela was born on July 18, 1918, in a small village called Mvizo in South Africa. His family belonged to the Themba tribe, and his father was a prominent political and social leader. During his childhood, Mandela learned much from the folktales and traditions of his village, which later became the foundation of his values. Mandela received his education at Fort Hare University and Witwatersrand University, where he studied law. It was here that his eyes were opened to the realities of apartheid. Apartheid was the official policy of South Africa at the time, which discriminated against non-whites, particularly black Africans. He witnessed how his people were denied the right to vote, access to quality education, and respect as human beings. This injustice ignited a fire in his heart, and he resolved to raise his voice against it. This phase of Mandela's life teaches us that education and awareness can transform a person's life. Only when we recognize the injustices around us can we muster the courage to fight against them. In the 1940s, Mandela joined the African National Congress, ANC, a leading organization fighting for the rights of black Africans in South Africa. He played a significant role in establishing the ANC Youth League and raised his voice against apartheid through nonviolent protests such as strikes, boycotts, and satyagraha. However, when the South African government banned the ANC and opened fire on their peaceful protests, Mandela and his comrades decided that armed struggle was necessary. In 1961, they formed Umkhonto we Sizwe, Spear of the Nation, a military wing that carried out covert attacks on government infrastructure while trying to avoid loss of life. In 1962, Mandela was arrested and charged with treason. Many other ANC leaders were also detained. During the 1964 Rivonia trial, Mandela delivered his famous speech, in which he said, "I have fought against white domination, and I have fought against black domination. I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and free society in which all persons live together in harmony and with equal opportunities. It is an ideal which I hope to live for and to achieve. But if needs be, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die." He was sentenced to life imprisonment and sent to Robben Island prison. Mandela's decision teaches us that when peaceful paths are blocked, fighting with courage and strategy becomes essential. His speech shows how far a person can go for their values. Mandela spent 18 years in Robben Island prison, followed by time in Pollsmoor prison and Victor Verster prison. Life in prison was harsh, small cells, grueling labor, and separation from loved ones. Yet, Mandela never lost his resolve. He used his time in prison to further his education, refine his thoughts, and strengthen his leadership qualities. He built human connections with fellow prisoners and even the guards. He learned Afrikaans, the language of his oppressors, to understand their mindset. This approach shows how he chose love and understanding over hatred, even in the face of adversity. While in prison, Mandela remained a key leader of the ANC. He secretly maintained contact with his comrades and guided the freedom struggle in South Africa. Globally, voices began to rise in his support, and the Free Nelson Mandela campaign became a worldwide movement. Motivational insight: Mandela's patience and discipline during the tough times in prison teach us that no matter how dire the circumstances, a person can keep their mind and thoughts free. His belief that education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world remained the cornerstone of his life even in prison. In the late 1980s, international pressure against apartheid in South Africa intensified. Finally, on February 11, 1990, Nelson Mandela was released from prison after 27 years. His release was a historic moment for the world. However, for Mandela, it was just the beginning. Under the ANC's leadership, he began working to end apartheid and build a new, equality-based South Africa. He negotiated with President F.W. de Klerk, the South African president at the time. These talks were not easy, there was a lack of trust and understanding on both sides, but Mandela's patience and vision made the process possible. In 1993, Mandela and de Klerk were awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for their peaceful cooperation. In 1994, South Africa held its first multiracial elections, where people of all races could vote. The ANC won a majority, and Nelson Mandela became South Africa's first black president. Inspirational lesson: Mandela's release and subsequent work show that freedom is a long journey. He chose cooperation and reconciliation over hatred and revenge, laying the foundation for a new South Africa. From 1994 to 1999, Mandela served as South Africa's president. He envisioned a rainbow nation, where people of all races and religions could live together in harmony. He established the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, which investigated injustices committed during apartheid and offered opportunities for forgiveness and reconciliation. Mandela also worked on issues like education, healthcare, and poverty. He gave his nation a new direction while demonstrating that a leader's work is for the people, not for personal ego. In 1999, he stepped away from political life, but his work continued. He focused on AIDS awareness, children's rights, and global peace. Mandela passed away on December 5, 2013, but his legacy lives on. His thoughts and life continue to inspire those fighting for their rights. Mandela's presidency and later life show that a true leader lives for their people. His belief that, "it always seems impossible until it's done," inspires us to work toward our dreams. Nelson Mandela's life offers profound lessons that are essential for every individual. Courage and resilience: Mandela spent 27 years in prison but never lost his spirit. His belief that, "the brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear," teaches us that courage lies in overcoming fear. The power of education: Mandela always considered education a weapon. He continued his studies in prison and encouraged his people to pursue education. This shows that education is the path to overcoming any challenge. Forgiveness and reconciliation: Mandela forgave his enemies and worked for a new South Africa. His belief that, forgiveness liberates the soul, it removes fear, inspires us to let go of hatred and move forward. Unity and equality: Mandela dreamed of a nation where everyone is equal. His belief that, no one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin, teaches us the value of unity and love. Never give up: the greatest lesson from Mandela's life is to never give up on your dreams and rights. He fought for decades, and in the end, he triumphed. Nelson Mandela's story is a journey that teaches us that one person, with their thoughts, courage, and love, can change the world. Every moment of his life, whether in the confines of a prison cell or the office of the presidency, inspires us to fight for our rights while never forgetting our humanity. In today's society, where discrimination, injustice, and hatred still exist, Mandela's message is more relevant than ever. His words will always stay with us. After climbing a great hill, one only finds that there are many more hills to climb. So, let us draw inspiration from Mandela's life and embark on a long and meaningful journey for our dreams and rights. If this story moved you, like the video, share it with someone who needs hope, and comment your favorite lesson from Mandela's life. For more powerful true stories that inspire and transform, subscribe to Books Unfold, where every story unfolds a new life. It always seems impossible, until it is done. Nelson Mandela.